Okay, in multiplying, we all know how to multiply numbers with zeros, right? There's a very easy trick, is I count how many zeros are there in the question. For example here, 23 times 100. How many zeros are there? 2 zeros. Excellent, so I put these 2 zeros out, and then I end up having 23 times 1. 23 times 1 equals 23. So the whole answer is 2,300. See? If I did 50 multiplied by 10, 50 times 10, easy, very easy. Again, I count how many zeros are there in the question. 2 zeros. Amazing. So I put them out, 2 zeros, as you can see. And then I multiply the 5 by 1 equals 5. So 50 times 10 is 500. Now, let's multiply with only 0. As you remember the story about the greedy 0, any number multiplied by 0, the answer is always 0, right? Now, the decimal point. Let's read this number first, 0.1. 0.1, I can read it in another way, which is 1/10, right? When I add here 0.1 plus 1, some of the mistakes, or actually some of the common errors, is that I write down here in the answer 0.2. And we all know, yes, of course, this is not correct. Why? Because 0.1, when I add it to 1, this one is a whole number. Let's look here, the whole number, if I would like to write it down with a decimal, it is 1.00. If I have 2, it's 2.00. So when I add two numbers together with decimals, what do? Like the picture. I put the two decimal points above each other like you can see, and then I start putting the numbers before and after them in the same order. And then in the answer, the first thing I do is I drop down the decimal point, exactly, and then I start adding the usual addition that we all know. No. I start adding from the units, or actually here it's going to be the hundred, then tens, then units, and tens, because this is a number with decimals. Yes. Regarding the fractions, it is a part of a whole, and parts should be equal. Let's look at the first picture here. Is this a fraction? Can I say this is half? Can I say that this square is divided into halves? No. Why? Because yes, it is divided into two parts, but not two equal parts. And we all know that the fraction should be equal. Let's look at this part. This is equal to this. Yes, so this is half. How do I write it down in fraction? 1/2. Is this a fraction? Of course not. Can I say this is quarter? Can I say that this shape is divided into 4 equal parts? Definitely not. Let's look at this shape. Can I say this is quarter? And we all know quarter means divided by 4. Yes, this is quarter. Why? Because these 4 parts are equal. Amazing. So let's apply this here. To write down a fraction, we all agree that the number on top here is the numerator and the number on bottom is the denominator. Remember, denominator comes from the word down. The first thing we start with is that I count how many parts are there all together. So how many parts are there all together? 3. So I write down here 3. Good job. Now, how many shaded parts? Only 1. So I write down here 1. Let's imagine this is a pie and I divided this pie into 3 parts. And then How many parts did I eat? Only one. Now, second pie. This pie is divided into how many equal parts? Exactly 6. So I write down here in the denominator 6. And how many parts or how many slices did I eat from this pie? 3. 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 over 6. 3 over 6, I can write it down in another way. I can write it down actually in another equivalent fraction. Yes, good job. 1 over 2. Why? Because 3 over 6 is same as 1 over 2. Why? Because they both represent half. Thank you.